Welcome to Dear Work Wives. Hello, everyone. Today we have a special guest co-host. Her name is Danielia. We call her D.
Yeah, we do.
Thanks for being here, D. Emily
Thanks
and I
for
have been wanting
having
to get
me.
D on the show for ever since its inception, and we finally made it happen.
And of course, we made it happen while D is on vacation. So sorry, D, but here we are.
It was the best time for me. Otherwise, my days fill up so fast. So I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, can I record with you this Wednesday?" Well, my family's at the
Yes.
garden arboretum.
Oh,
Yes, you can.
yeah.
So D, I'll just give you a little bit of background. D and I have known each other for how many years? A lot of years? Like
15
A lifetime?
or
15-ish years, because
A
right
long
after I
time.
graduated from undergrad, so yeah, 15-ish years, I went to work at a camp in South Carolina, and Dee was already working at that camp, and we've been friends ever since. But she thought I was a mega bitch when I first started, so
She acted like one. In my defense,
it's true. It's true.
I
doesn't
feel
like
like that's the
being
start
cold.
of all great friendships. Like one of you thinks the other is a
the
raging
start
bitch.
of all mine.
Facts.
Yeah. And I overcame
turns
it.
out-
And
Turns out she's really nice, and I'm the bitch. So
No.
turns out I was really cold that day, and I was just pissed. Like,
yeah, Florida girl in the winter wasn't working out.
it was like raining and cold, and I think we were doing like survival skills, and we were like trying to build a fire or something, and I was so annoyed. Like,
Miserable.
Yeah, I was like, you could put some sticks on the fire if you want, like being all nice. And she's like, I don't want to put sticks on the fire. I was like, oh, okay. Neat. You can just be mad.
like in hindsight, that's really unprofessional of me. Like talking about on like a work podcast, like when I reflect on like 22-year-old Adrian at a new job, like
Yeah,
she was training. Yeah, I was in like weeks of training, and you were
being a
trying to be
wench.
nice, and like I was just being a wench.
Someone
Like,
would
even if
write
you
in
are
about you.
cold, yeah, like even if you are cold, like I should have just sucked it up, right? Like, and been nice. It's weird. I don't, you know, when you like look back and I'm like, I don't know that person.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't know the person that was like, you can put sticks on the fire if you want.
Yeah.
You've swapped.
Yeah, we kind of
Yeah,
swapped.
now I'm like, here's some sticks. Your job's to put them on the fire. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would not approve of the attitude that I had that week, especially for like first week on a job in like 2008 when it was so hard to get a job, and I'm like,
Yeah, we were in a
Right.
recession.
like I should be thankful someone hired me.
So
I mean, I
good.
was making like $265 a week, but still.
Yeah.
It was a recession, you know?
Those
Had
were
a
the
job.
days. You took what
You
you
could
could
have bought a
get.
house for like $8. So
The thing was, we lived at camp, so we didn't have to buy a house. We didn't have housing expenses, which is why they were able to pay us next to
100%.
nothing, you know?
right. It's just
Right.
fun money.
And
And
they
that's why they were able to pay us an illegal wage for what we did.
Right. Because room and board was
We
covered and
also-
food all covered, right?
Room and board
food, yeah.
covered, food
Yeah.
covered. Yeah. So
Uniforms,
that's
so
what
like
Dee and I-
clothes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and they provided uniforms, right? So I
Yeah.
didn't really need clothes.
shirts. Yeah.
Wow.
Just wore a lot of like camp t-shirts and pants.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Safari pants.
safari pants.
Still
I reused
rocking the
them
safari
from my
pants.
safari days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, these are multi-purpose. Now they used to be safari pants, now they're camp pants. So
Versatile
so that's
wardrobe.
where I
Everyone
know
needs
Dee
one.
from. We met back in the day, and now Dee also works on our Run Like Clockwork team as a part-time coach for our students. She's a wealth of knowledge as it relates to workplace things. So I almost said tings.
Yeah. Ting.
Workplace things.
Anything else that
And
you
now
want?
Emily and Dee are best friends too.
We are. We bonded over our mutual love of Taylor Swift, and the rest has been history.
And we also all went to the Taylor Swift concert together.
Yes.
That we did.
Dee went to the
That's
Taylor
like
Swift
our
concert.
that was like our Super Bowl, I think, of our friendship so far. So like
100%. Yeah. I don't know if it will get better than that. Like, I don't know if we will ever do anything that will top that event, but we will keep trying.
Yeah, we'll keep trying, but it was so good.
Yeah. And now that it's like the Eras Tour is like, I feel incredibly blessed to have even made it there, because I'm like, I don't think at the time, because we went so early in the tour, that I understood like how coveted that concert was going to be. And I'm like, wow, we really are chosen ones.
No, we definitely didn't realize it, because if we did, we would have absolutely bought tickets for the next day.
What, the next day?
When they were like $500 or $1,000.
So much money. We are dumb.
Like, that was a lot of money, but you know, as it kept going, it kept getting more and more expensive.
Right.
We were like, $500 for a view that you can't even see, for an obstructed view of Taylor. We were like, no thanks. And now we're absolutely pay that.
I'd pay double that, honestly.
I know.
And probably will when she comes to Toronto. So
right.
Yeah.
I probably will when I go to Miami to see her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Toronto, wherever I'm going.
Right. Fly on up.
Yeah. So Dee's here to help us with the stories today.
I'm so excited.
Dee's going to have an incredible viewpoint, and I think maybe she'll disagree with us. I don't know. We'll see.
We would love that. We'd love a disagreement.
I remember listening to the first episode where you had a disagreement, and I was like, y'all, we got to do that more.
So I know, we got to do that more often.
The problem is that...
All right, you want to just jump?
Yeah, go.
What?
I was going to say, the problem is that like we're two values aligned, so we don't disagree, but it's okay. We'll try. Okay, jump in.
Someone needs to change their values.
It's not going to be me.
Okay.
It's not going to be you either.
Your values. This podcast can be riveting.
Like, you taught me a lot of the ones I live in now, so I don't see you changing them either.
Yeah. I joined your organization because I liked your values.
Right?
So change them so we can disagree more.
Right.
All right.
Okay, let's do this.
All right, ready?
Yep.
First story. Do you think my boss accidentally emailed me about firing me? Background. I made a mistake today. Dee likes this one. Background. I made a mistake today. I was requested to schedule a call with a client. I scheduled it through Zoom, but I'm not sure what happened. I must not have sent the invite out on Outlook because the client didn't receive it. The call is at 3 p.m., so plenty of time to send the invite, but it was still a mistake. I've never made any other mistakes scheduling client calls before. I have two managers I report to. One asked me to convert a PDF to an Excel and send it to them. I did, as he asked, and he replied, that was quick. You converted from PDF to Excel, right? Which I confirmed. Well, suddenly I got an email from my other boss sent from his iPhone to that email thread. Well, I would never let anyone go until we have someone to replace them, but I need to know if you want me to go through all of the time and effort to replace her. Yes or no? I think he meant to only send that to my other boss, not me. Then a couple minutes later, he sent another email as if he realized that he made this mistake. The client, this is in quotes, so this is what the email said. The client aren't doing what we want them to do. I like them as a client, but we're not making money from them. I need you to tell me if I should replace them. Yes or no? I think he messed up and realized he revealed their discussion about firing me and then tried to fix it with that message about the client. What do you think? I think it was definitely about you.
Yeah. I don't think that people talk about their clients that way, just like in general. Like, you can fire clients, but like, I don't think people, that's how they say it. I'm like, I just don't want to work with this client anymore.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because it's like, I mean, they said, well, I would never let anyone go until we have someone to replace them, but I need to know if you want me to go through all the time and effort to replace her. Like, that's not something you say about a client.
No.
And then you go to client instead of using like gender specific terms.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like
gender specific terms are about you, the employee, her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
So what should
obvious
she
that
do?
they were emailing back and forth about maybe the error, and so the
Someone
brazenness,
included reply all by accident.
but the brazenness
Right.
to be like in a conversation in an email thread with the person you're talking about firing is also in that email thread, like the risks are clearly very high. Like you should take that conversation to a
Start
new thread.
email.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is wild.
I
It's
know,
like
like
my
the
deepest
panic
fear
that
as
I
a
have.
supervisor.
Yeah, like the panic that I have if I'm like sending something to the wrong person or something sometimes, I'll check like 47 times to like make sure I'm not sending something to the client or
Especially
something that I don't want them to
right.
see.
Especially if
Yeah.
it's confidential, right? Like,
Sensitive in nature.
Yeah.
yeah.
That should have been
I
a voice
mean,
note, a disappearing voice note.
This person needs to start looking for a new job.
Right. At least you got a 1 day heads up to go maybe start. I assume that
start looking.
they're going to fire you. Like, I think it's also crazy that they're going to fire you over this one mistake. So either something else is going on or they have like zero tolerance for any mistakes whatsoever. Because like you said, yeah, like you fixed it by the time the client call was even going to happen. So I don't know, their expectations of you seem really unrealistic for you to like never make a mistake, and that you made one mistake and you fixed it and you're still getting fired, and they're going to talk about you in an email thread. I think you should just find a new job anyways.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good. That's just not good business. You don't want to be a
Right.
part of that.
But I definitely think they were talking about you. So I would probably, like, what would you do? Would you address it or would you just let it go? Like, would you just let them continue talking as if it was about the client? Or would you be like, this was definitely about me, wasn't it?
I would address it. I'd be like, so I saw this email thread and it just really seems like you're talking about me. And I just want to know, like, from a feedback standpoint, what's not going well for you and how can I improve? And that's like a little passive aggressive, I think, on my end, but like, how can I improve? And then I would also be like, leaving. Wouldn't stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't work somewhere where you can't make a mistake.
No. Oh my gosh, I would have been fired 1,000 times over if I worked at this place for making this kind of mistake, I think that I would probably do what Dee suggests and be like, okay, can we talk about this? Because the thing that makes me like nervous or would make me not believe their thing about the client is you're clearly coming in like halfway through the conversation because you're only getting well, I'd never let someone go. Like if this was about the client, you would have been included in the entire conversation, and you would have also received that first email where they allegedly were saying should we get rid of this client? You know what I mean? Like it's just not like it's just like a poorly worded lie, and I honestly think the manager should have just addressed it. Like lying, it just made it worse. I would want to have a conversation with them about it and ask, like, what is this about the invite, and do we need to discuss this further? But of course, I would definitely be looking for another job, and I'd leave as soon as I found one. But I'm not going to jeopardize my own financial security because they suck. I'm going to not leave until I find a job. Hopefully I find one. Right. Or if they fire me, then at least you can collect like unemployment. Right?
Unemployment.
I'm not going to quit unless I have a job. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the right move. Like, financially, you have to take care of yourself and your family, right? And then, but this is definitely like, start looking for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you can always decide to stay, right? Like, if it all works out and it is a mistake, you can decide to stay, but you should look.
Even if it was them being your boss having like a frustrating moment of like, oh my goodness, and maybe there are like some small things happening that they've done a really terrible job communicating to you. Like that's on them that they've never communicated that you're not meeting expectations. So having a conversation of like, this is like, I've never once heard that I'm not meeting expectations. So to see that there could potentially be a conversation about releasing me from my role feels very out of left field. So do we need to catch up on Like, what have I missed here? How did we get here? How do we get out? Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if it's just this one mistake, then that's a wild reason to like even think about letting someone go. But if there's more, then you're right. Like, this is also on them. Like, they should be communicating that so that you can do better. So,
good luck.
All right, next story.
Good luck.
I work from home and I make $100,000 salary and I'm doing literally nothing. WTF. Not looking for judgment, looking for a logical explanation. I'm working for a very successful private tech company with more than 3,000 employees. I'm in the IT department working with a team of 5 people. We all work from home and I joined the company almost 2 years ago. Please explain this to me. I'm being paid $100,000 working 40 hours a week and have nothing to do from my end. We have a stand-up meeting every day and a department meeting once a week. When my manager asks each of us during the meeting what we're up to, the other IT engineers give at least 4 to 5 updates, and me, 0. I literally find myself looking for stuff to update my team and feeling so embarrassed when I give my BS updates. Multiple times I've brought this up to my manager asking, what should I do? How can I help? And his response each time is, keep on doing what you're doing. I have 2 to 5 meetings a day where I do not speak at all. No one cares for the work I'm expected to do, which is nothing really. Before each meeting for the last 2 years, I get anxiety as I'm afraid that my manager and teammates will notice how useless I feel. So here's my question. Why does my manager insist on hiring additional IT engineer if there is no actual work to do?
That is a great question. And my question is, are they hiring other?
Right.
Yeah.
How do I get this job?
Like, just stay quiet.
Keep your head down.
Keep going.
Show up at your meetings.
Just keep on going.
I've got.
It sounds like
Do
there's.
they want me?
Right. It sounds like there's documentation though of you being, or at least a record of being like, I have more capacity. Like, what projects can I take on? And they're not jumping on that. So that's on them.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, they said. They said that to you. They think you're doing a great job. But I can also understand like feeling inadequate when you come to the meeting and you're like, just doing nothing.
Can you talk to the other IT people? And be like, what do you do? Like, can I help you? Like, what's on your plate? Are you over capacity? You know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like maybe there is something that you could help other people do that would make you feel more useful and valuable and also secure. I also sense that you feel like you could be let go at any moment because you're not really doing anything super valuable to the organization, which can feel like not super safe for people, right? Like I could easily just be let go. So make yourself valuable by maybe asking some of the other engineers, like, what are they doing? What projects can you take on or what can you help them with?
I mean, I think too, like this is a large company. Like I moonlight in a large nonprofit as an executive director. And I'm telling you right now, I would love to find an IT person that has nothing to do because I have projects for you. So I would also reach out to other team leads and be like, what are you missing? What is not working out for you? Like, even if it's like their home setup doesn't work right? Like I don't know anything about technology. I'm lucky that I was able to get onto this podcast, if I'm being totally honest, and it took me a few tries. So like I can't imagine that in a company of 3,000 people, there's not someone who needs your help. Like I would reach out to other team leads and be like, what are your teams struggling with? How can I help like improve the performance of your team? Because I think you probably know a lot more than some people are able to do on their own, would be my guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why Dee's on this episode, because I would never have thought of that. Neither genius.
Because you all know how to do technology and I don't. You sent me this.
Not really.
I would be like just sit there and collect your check.
Yeah, I would be like, just keep collecting, dude. Sounds good to me. Don't raise the alarms. Like,
no, but that's quiet. A really good idea.
No, I don't know technology because actually I sent this meme to Emily the other day about when it says like accept all cookies, and I have no idea what that means, and I'm just like, yay, cookies, okay,
yay, perfect.
I love cookies.
I feel like it's the gatekeeper to what I want, and so I'm like, fine.
I'm like, I don't care.
Like, I don't know what I'm actually giving you permission to do, but sure.
Sell my
Like,
soul.
do I have a choice in this? Probably not. So here.
Yeah.
Sell my soul so
Accept.
I can look at a picture of a cute dog. Done.
Done.
Yeah, like sometimes I just click no, or I just click the X just to see what happens. And most of the time I still get to the website. So I don't think I need to be clicking yes.
I think the cookies are the tracking. I think. I don't really know. And we're making people very angry right now.
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably the IT person that wrote into us.
Yeah.
So probably them. And like my brother is literally like the most techie person. Like he owns like a techie company. He writes code. He's probably so embarrassed.
I know people
But
are
have you
gonna
ever
write in
seen
and be
those
like,
did you ever see those videos of like when like the techie kid in the family has to like teach the boomer parents how to like use their iPad or their phone?
Yeah.
Like that's my brother, poor guy, you know.
Every
like,
time we go to
of
my
there's
parents'
a Modern
house, we have to do
Family
that.
episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a Modern Family episode that's like Manny's trying to teach Jay how to double click on something, and he's like, "You just double click," and he's like, "Double click." He's like, "No, double click." He's like, "I'm doing it, double click." And I like always think of that because that's totally me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing it. Click, click.
Doing it.
Click.
Yeah.
Click.
I clicked twice. That's double.
No, there's a speed that we need you to move with on the
Yeah.
double click.
You gotta go
Otherwise, it's
faster.
2 clicks. You know, 2 clicks does not equal a double click. Yeah.
You know what really gets me is like when Tyler will say, like, I have a Mac and I don't have like a separate mouse. And so I just have the trackpad, you know?
Yeah.
And Tyler will be like, just right click on the thing. And I'm like,
Tyler.
there's only one button.
There's only one click.
Like, how would you right click on something with one trackpad? And then he has to like come show me how to do it. And I feel very embarrassed, but I did figure it out.
It's just on the
I
right
think.
side of the trackpad, right?
Huh?
It's just on the right side of the trackpad, right? I don't know. I'm trying to right click now and I can't. Yeah.
See?
I was just doing the same thing. I was like,
Yeah, we're all doing it.
I think you have to like click down and then use another finger to like.
Oh, I can't. I don't have a Mac, but I can't be doing all that. So
Okay.
I'd have to
I don't know.
it works.
I make it happen. I don't know what I do, but it happens.
Like sometimes you can make it happen and sometimes you can't. Like that happens to me all the time at the computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I've done this before, but I don't know how I got here. Like I don't know how to get back to what I was doing.
Especially on a Mac when I like all of a sudden I'm on like I've swiped to like a different home screen or I've like swiped all my apps out. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't know what I did. Make it come back.
I don't know what I did. I don't know how to get back to where I belong. Yeah.
The amount of trainings we've been on where Adrian's like, I've lost my slides. Like,
yes,
they're just disappeared into her computer.
And then you have to right click to get them back because if you are screen sharing in full screen, but then I like stop sharing the screen, it will like shift it like shifts the slides like totally, like they're still open, they're still there, but they're just on a separate like screen that doesn't exist.
They're in the ether.
And I'm like I'm looking for them like minimized, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I go to reopen them, but they're not minimized. They're on a completely separate screen that exists in a different dimension. And I don't have access to that dimension, you know? I'm like,
wow.
But where are you? So that's
y'all, this is what I'm saying. Go ask some people because we need help.
Here, tech, you can put together some training videos for people on how to use their computers. Like
100% out of your 3,000 employees, 2,567 of them are like us, and they have no idea what they're doing.
We're just getting by on a hope and a prayer.
And they're going,
just getting by with like barely being able to join the Zoom meeting, you know?
Yeah. And they're sometimes on mute every time.
Like every time. So I think that's a great advice, Dee, to like, you know, show up for the people who aren't necessarily asking for you right now, but they really need you.
They're just in the trenches. They're too deep in the trenches. They don't even know that you're there to help them.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know because no one has made you accessible to them. But you should let them know, especially if your manager has said, like, just keep doing what you're doing. And you're like, I have more capacity. Then just go make yourself available to other departments, other teams, the CEO, perhaps, you know?
Yeah. You got this.
If you need any tech support, I'm here for you. But maybe don't with the CEO. We don't want to expose you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want
wanna see
them to
someone
know.
hidden.
Like,
Yeah.
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 All right. Last story?
Already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. This is a good one for conversation, though.
Okay.
Does anyone actually like work Christmas parties? I think it's a good, timely discussion, especially for
100%.
me as an employer. I'm constantly thinking about this as it relates to like gifts or party or like what do people want, right? Like, do they just want money or do they want me to pick out a nice gift? Do they want a nice gift or do they want a celebration together? So here's the, I have always felt like most people don't want one and only attend due to feeling obligated. So that's another thing. Like if they're having a party, do I have to go now, even though maybe I don't want to?
Mm-hmm.
My work has been having this discussion the past few years, and being in upper management, I have to give my insight. From what it seems, no one does. I don't, but the owner insists that they do. I think it's a kind gesture, but each year the room segregates into the typical workplace cliques, and there is rarely any cross-socialization. There tends to be some intoxicated situations, which includes employees becoming very obnoxious and loud. But the problem is, who the hell wants a dry Christmas party? Anyways, I want to get some opinions on this topic to see if maybe I am just delusional. I have talked offhand to a few people and they've commented that they would rather simply have a bonus. Thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Have you all ever worked at a place where you had to like go to a work Christmas party or holiday party?
100%. Yes. Yeah.
And how was that for you all?
I've had mixed experiences.
Yeah. You go, D. You tell us.
Like sometimes, I would say sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not. Like, you know, sometimes you go, but like I always felt obligated to go and I wanted to go because that's how you got your bonus.
Oh.
Just by going to the party.
Oh, like they would hand out the bonus at the party?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I don't like that.
Well,
and so I would go to get the bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But I did some research on something similar to this, like not that long ago for Run Like Clockwork. Don't remember what exactly, but I did it. And one of the things that showed up is that people don't like to go to after hours events that they feel like are mandatory because they have like lives and things. And so like having to like, so if you're gonna do one, I think that doing it during work hours is much more appreciated than doing it after work hours when people would already be off and they're having to do essentially extra work for you. Going to a party is like a nice thing, but it's extra work, right? And so I think that people really appreciate that more. If you're gonna have one, I personally would rather just not go to one.
You would just rather not have one, and
I'd just rather not have one.
Yeah, because the other thing is like they do spend a lot of like people have to spend a lot of money on these things too, right? Like it's like and for people to not actually even want to be there,
don't appreciate it worth the price tag at all. In fact, I usually feel like yes, this is nice, and I'd rather be doing A, B, C, or D, right? And so like I'm not even really grateful when I go
because I'd rather be at home watching Below Deck.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anything. Talking to people that I see every day, all day. I spend all of my time with you people. I don't need to spend more.
Yeah. Right. And I think if you did it like during work hours as well, you could do more of a dry one too. So that kind of combats the intoxication piece of like, okay, people are getting too drunk doing embarrassing things at this party. You could just have it be like it's a lunch party. So
like they do in the office.
Maybe some people are going to drink. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my camps used to do something called Eat All Day, where you just
Eat all day,
where everyone brings like a potluck item, and then kind of like you just set up the conference room with food, and then you just kind of graze all day. And so like you can get some work done, go and get some food, go get some more work done. And so it's like you don't have to be there for a certain time, but like everyone spends usually lunch there. And then you kind of just graze for the rest of the day. And that was actually really nice because you weren't obligated to go, you weren't obligated to bring anything, you didn't need to spend off work time. You could still get your stuff done, and there was no like certain time you had to be there. And so that was really nice. But on the other hand, I've been to parties that are like after hours, lots of alcohol, where I'm like managing my team because they are not managing themselves. And I'm like, I'd rather be home.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They're doing, alcohol makes people do things that are embarrassing for all of us. So
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Emily, have you been like, what's your preference? Do you want a work party or a gift or money?
So the most successful work party, I mean, when I worked in hospitality, we would have work holiday parties, but they would always be in January. And it would be like a celebration of surviving the holiday season as a team. When I worked at the resort, it would like the resort would close from like January 2nd to however long they needed to close for renovations that year. And like the first night it was closed, it was like the leadership was all still working because they worked the party, but it was all for the staff. And like they cooked all the food in the restaurant. They made like buckets and buckets of sangria, and it was like the staff appreciation party for the year.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
that one was really fun, but the leadership still worked. So they had their own separate celebration separate from that because again, to Dee's point, they were managing the team. Like they were managing they were working, they were serving, they were behind the bar, and they were like watching the flow of the alcohol and who it was flowing to the most. And then when I worked in a restaurant, a much smaller team, we would do something like in January, and it was like instead we would close for the night, and we were all used to working nights, so like a night out, it was a night off. Like we would have been open working, but instead we were closed, and we got to go out for like a nice dinner. And then if you wanted to stay and out, then you were kind of like on your own dime at that point. You know what I mean? Like they would take you out for like a nice meal and like a couple drinks, and then it was like, okay, now the company tab is closed and you're on your own. I've been to like 2 Christmas parties with James, maybe one when he worked for like a big corporation. And it was like, you have to come, and it's like they provide dinner, but like every drink costs, you know what I mean? And it was like,
Every drink costs money?
Every drink costs money. Like no, not even like wine with dinner or something like that, you know? And I was like, I'd rather just have $100 bonus. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I think it really depends on the vibe. And I mean, at Clockwork, we're all a remote team. So we meet on Zoom for like, you know, an hour and a half, kind of like the last day that we're open, and chit chat and like play games. And like that I really enjoy because I wish that we could get together in person. So I think it really depends on the team, to be honest. I don't think that they should be obligated. And I think for most like corporate industries, I think that they should be during working hours. Like if you work in an office, your party should be during office hours. All the ones I've been to, I was in hospitality, so like we're all very used to working at night. You know, like it was just part of the culture. Right. But I have friends who go to work Christmas parties, and they love them, and it's because like they splash out. It's like we're going here, and it's like open bar, and it's like a full dinner, and it's like really, it feels extravagant, and so that they appreciate. But I think as soon as you take away the extravagance and it's just like a regular schmegular meal out, like pass. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the danger, right? Is like people like, it's like you have to go all out or people are annoyed.
Or like this
right?
is a waste of time, especially that time of year.
Right.
It's such a busy time of year, and you're going to eat up one of my 4 Friday nights in December.
Right. And it's like, if people knew how much it was costing them to go like ultra extravagant, would they rather just maybe have that money? Like
$250 cash bonus.
That it was going to be like $250 a head for me to put on this party
and you
or
get
to
a
do this
+1.
like fine dinner. Yeah. Like, then would you rather just me give you $250 or $500 extra on top of what you're already going to get for the holidays? Probably most people would like trade that in, you know?
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, it's not worth that much to me.
I do think though, I think you can like, I don't think it's like do this or that. Like, I think you have to do something, right? Like, I think that it doesn't always have to be like a bonus or like we, like Emily was saying, like we get together and just like chit chat. And like, I just think if we didn't have anything, I'd be like, huh, that's really weird that we didn't do anything. Right. And so I think it is hard. You have to find out, like, you have to find the balance on your team. And if you have, like, depending on the size of your team, if it's a small team, easier to find the balance, right? Than if you like have 3,000
like
people.
Virtual,
like,
it's easier for us to like just meet. It doesn't cost us anything, right? I think we send out sometimes like, here, buy lunch for yourself or whatever, or we send snacks. Yeah, like that's much cheaper, easier for us to do than like hosting a big party.
But then we do an annual retreat, and it's kind of the same idea. I mean, I'm saying annual because I'm manifesting that, but you know,
same.
Where we make,
but those are expensive.
They're so expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a good question. Like, as a leader, I don't like, for the Christmas gift, I could see myself being like, okay, we're not going to have a Christmas party, but I'll give you that money instead if you all would like just rather have that money. But for the retreat costs us a lot of money, but that's not something that I'm willing to trade for just giving you the money. You know what I mean? Because the value is so much more than like for their team retreat. Like we get so much value out of that as a team. Done. Whereas like the Christmas party or holiday party is just like a nice to have. Like, yeah, maybe it would feel weird if we didn't celebrate in any way. Yeah. But sorry, you can't just like trade in the retreat for just give us the money instead. Because like, no, this is actually valuable to the growth of the business that we get together. Right. Whereas like the holiday party is not necessarily.
I mean, you also have to be careful with the retreats though, because I've been to retreats that are not valuable to the people who are there and people that are annoyed, right? But like we went to the like Clockwork retreat, and like honestly, like we did some team building and we did some other things, and it was incredibly valuable to our team. And like we just like when we left, the value of what we got in like the 3 or 4 days we were together, I think was totally worth it. But I've been on like bigger retreats that are just like, what are we? Did anyone plan this?
Like, why are we here?
Yeah, we're like playing Pictionary, and I'm like, that's all well and good, but like, did you know that we need to grow our business by 15% this year in order to survive? So why are we playing Pictionary?
Right. Why did I leave my home and travel here or spend all this time and money to play Pictionary with you? Like maybe some Pictionary, but we also have to have some other stuff.
We certainly should play Pictionary. Right. We should play Pictionary at night. Like I'm game for that. I mean, I was in the pool every second during our retreat, right? Oh, so like, you know, we have to. I'm here for games, but like,
we
one
saw
time
alligators.
At a Christmas party. When I worked at corporate, we went to a holiday party, and it was held at like one of our leadership's homes. And I choked on a prime rib, and Tyler had to give me the Heimlich maneuver in the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just going to go to the bathroom to die because I was like so embarrassed. He was like, what are you doing? Like I was like legit choking, and then I just like ran away and went to the bathroom, and he like followed me, thank God. He's like, what were you gonna do, just go in the bathroom and choke to death? I was like, I guess. Like I just didn't want to be seen by like
choking
our leadership, like choking on my prime rib. I didn't want anyone else to be giving me the
wow.
So don't
have parties at your
prime
house.
rib is the message, I think.
I think the consensus
I can tell you right now, if you are having... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go, D. If you're having what?
I was just going to say, if you're having a Christmas party or a holiday party at your house, I am hiding with your dog. That's where I am. Like, if you can find your dog, you'll find me. If she's out in the dirt in your backyard, so am I, in my party dress. Like, that's what I'm doing. I feel so uncomfortable at a stranger's house. Like, when I have to go to like board meetings at someone's house, I'm so awkward. I'm like,
right. Like, imagine me being in this. I was like in this lead team person's house, choking on the prime rib that she served me.
I would have also gone to the bathroom to die.
Yeah.
I can't even handle when you drink water and it goes down the wrong hole, like that coughing. You know that's the most embarrassing thing in the world to me. Like,
where then like you can't even get a word out because it's like.
And then we do it in
everyone's
public,
like, are you okay? Are you okay? And you're like, I'm fine.
You're like, we've all done this before. You know what's happening to me right now. Like, I'll be fine. Okay, so what's our consensus on Christmas parties?
My life at a holiday party. That's the moral of the story.
No prime rib.
But My consensus is no thank you.
No, thank you.
Just don't want to.
I think my consensus is like you really, really have to read the room. And if your team is not a team that already enjoys spending time together, don't force them to do it. Like, I would love to go to a Run Like Clockwork holiday party. Like, I would love that more than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that makes sense. Like, I've seen most of our team for just vacation in the last year. So, like,
right.
Yeah, like, that makes sense. But yeah,
but
if
we
my
are
other
unicorns.
company is having one, I'm like, no thanks.
But
I'm okay.
don't withhold the bonuses to make people show up at the event. I think that's also like somehow making it not required for people, like somehow just alluding to like, you don't have to come if you don't want to. Like, if you want to come, we'd love to have you.
Right.
You know?
If you can do it during company hours, like when I was a restaurant manager, the amount of like just gorgeous lunches we would host for offices. You know, there'd be like 15 people. They'd come in, pre-order, have a gorgeous lunch. The leadership would give a little talk, maybe give little gift card, like bonuses at the lunch. And then they would go back and finish their workday. You know what I mean? It's like, that's lovely. But if your budget is, I can afford a gift / bonus or a party, gift / bonus.
Yeah.
Is what people want.
Yeah.
What about just for my personal needs? Do you prefer to get money or do you prefer to get a gift that I select?
I struggle with this because you're good at selecting gifts.
Last year's gift was really good.
So good. It's my number one most used prized possession. It was, so anyway, it was luggage, if in case anyone was wondering. You have to pick your own.
Yeah. And we were going on a retreat in like 6 weeks, so it was perfect. Yes. We all got beautiful little like we could essentially get like a carry-on, which was gorgeous.
Yeah. Like I got
gave them like a gift card to a very specific luggage place so that they could pick what they wanted from that place. So everyone kind of got something different, but it was still money in a sense, but I kind of gave you guardrails of where you could spend that money, right? Like,
yeah, I thought that was like such an awesome gift and something I would never buy for myself, but I literally use it every single day. So it's like so good, right?
Yeah.
And so I like that. I think money is good too. Like I could go either way, honestly. What I don't want is for you to buy me a food gift card. I want food gift card.
Yeah.
Like I don't want that.
Interesting.
Like if it's like, oh, you can go, pick like a snack gift card is fine. Like we do like Sugar Wish. I think that's great.
Sugar Wish is fine.
If you're going to be like, oh, you're going to get Omaha steaks. I'm a vegetarian, so that's a terrible one. But like,
terrible.
People do that all the time. Like, I just don't want a freezer full of meat. I don't want a freezer full of anything. So like, if you're going to get me a food gift card, I don't want that.
Okay, I 100% agree with that.
Into like really wanting to, or like people will give like wine gift cards. Not everyone likes wine or drinks, right? And so I think those are the things that you need to be careful with. Like that, if you're giving a gift, it is inclusive of whoever you're giving
and it's like
to,
adding to people's lives. Like I think Uber Eats gift cards are, especially at the holiday season, are really nice because like it's a nice like like, oh, this is gonna help like you, it's gonna bring more convenience to your life during a really busy time, you know? We always give Uber Eats as like condolence gifts too on our team because it's like, the last thing you want to do is cook.
But
so
if you
order
have
yourself
a
some
remote
food.
Team, just remember some people remotely live somewhere where you can't get Uber Eats. Like
fact. Noted.
So I get a lot of Uber Eats and like Grubhub gift cards like from my company that I work for, where they know where I live. And I just pile them up and I use them when I'm on vacation, which is fine. It's not like a very like I don't use it like
all the time
but like also for a baby gift the other day I gave an Uber Eats gift card and like that's a great like, baby gift, right? Like so.
Also remember that if you have like employees across borders, like no one on Team RLC can buy me an Amazon or Uber gift card because it goes to Amazon.com or Uber.com. Like it doesn't work in Canada. Cool. It's so annoying. It's like you're the same company.
Right.
So
I think those are some things to think about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So gifts are nice when you think about everyone on the team and make sure like I would never buy like a wine gift card or something because that's like too risky if like someone doesn't drink or someone doesn't like really thinking about and I do like personally spend a lot of time, but I think
You
this is
do.
good advice for other people too.
If you have a small team,
okay,
I like it.
Money's always nice, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna get a gift, then like just think about it and
Yeah. A
think
blanket,
about
this
everyone.
gift, if you have a small team, like if you can do it personalized or like I'm getting this for this person, that goes a long way versus just, okay, I'm getting everyone this thing, you know, because it's really hard to find something that works for everyone. You know, like we have someone on our team who really actually enjoys trying like new cocktails and stuff. So we got him like a cocktail mixer pack, like delivery thing, you know, but that he's like probably him and me are probably the only ones on the team who would like that, you know? So, if you have a small team and you can personalize it, that goes a long way. Otherwise, just give them cash and a nice card with meaningful words inside of it. Like the teachers always say, a handwritten card.
Yes.
Adrian's
I think
smirking.
2 things, like, one is that I thought, like, when we did luggage, that was so thoughtful because we were about to go on a trip. Like, we were all going on a trip, right? And so I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. What a great gift. Like, I thought that was just like a really thoughtful gift. And so even though everyone had the same one, it was super thoughtful. And then also, like, for my birthday, Airbnb, that's like my love language. Money for me to travel. I mean, I know other people got it too, but like money for me to travel, that's my favorite thing. I'm like, oh, that's great. So I think like putting the thoughtfulness behind it is helpful.
Yeah. Adrian just recently got me a Disney gift card for my birthday from RLC, and it's good because she knows that I want to go back to Disney World, so I can start saving these gift cards up to put towards the trip. So it's like, I'm not going to use it right now on like a Disney blanket, but it's meaningful to me. So if you know those kinds of things with your team members,
book your trip. So here's your gift card.
So, wow, that was a tangent. That was a great conversation, though.
We could all agree that a very bad company gift for the holidays is like company swag, right? Like that's a terrible gift.
Unless it's like the world's comfiest crew neck.
Yeah, but I just still think that's not a gift. That's like that's what you get. Like, I get my staff jackets, but not for Christmas. I get them because like it rains and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You need them, and so it's company swag and it's a gift and they appreciate it. But like that's
not for Christmas though. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
I agree with that.
We were actually gifted last year from one of our suppliers, like Run Like Clockwork zip up hoodies. And I wore it to the retreat, and everyone's like, because only Adrian and I were gifted them because we worked with the supplier. And everyone's like, where'd you get that from? And I was like, it was a gift from a supplier, and everybody wanted one. So I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Actually, my zipper broke on it, though. And it's the wrong logo.
Everyone wants them as a retreat gift.
Yes. Oh, good point. You are right. See, this is why I think Dee's going to replace me. She's got a lot more wisdom than I do. I'm like, stay small and here's a crew neck.
Stay small. Don't let anyone notice you. Keep collecting your check and
wear your crew neck.
Don't get me wrong. I love it.
Yeah.
Dee, thank you for joining us today for the stories.
It's so fun.
We've loved your contributions, and I hope you'll join us again in the future. Let us know, everyone, if you love having a guest co-host, because, well, even if you tell us no, we don't care because we love having a guest co-host. So
yeah, I'm definitely coming back. So
yeah. If you would follow at Dear Workwives on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcasts, that would be super helpful. Make sure that you're a subscriber and submit your stories. If you have any, we can go to dearworkwives.com for that. And we'll see you next Tuesday, right?
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.